and
ممتاز.
okay. Okay. So, please, Mr. Khalil, before you are leaving us, it is the last meeting together, but it is we will continue back after you come back from your trip, visiting the family overseas vacation. It's sure it's very important to be with the family, especially in the feast. And we will have other meeting later, but today it is the last meeting in this year, 2023. So please, Mr. Khalil, we are all ears.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I would like to start this time with the Star of David. Usually when we are especially visiting Capernaum, if we start in Galilee, we see the Star of David. And we hear so many stories about the Star of David. So I will give you a short information, general information, let's call it, about the Star of David. It is six-pointed star. We call it six-pointed star. It represents originally peace and harmony, especially in Buddhism, not Judaism, Buddhism. While alchemists, and this is the oldest name for the chemistry, alchemist. For the alchemist, they believe it as a symbolized nature. Now, how did the Star of David acquire its importance or significance, if you want, in the Judaism? The Star of David originated long before it was adopted, Bennuha, by the Jewish faith and the Zionist movement for sure. It appeared thousands of years ago in the culture of the East, the Sharq al-Aqsa. Cultures that use it to this day, like Buddhism and Hinduism, etc. In the past, what we know today as the Star of David was a popular symbol in pagan tradition, بالتقاليد الوثنية, as well as a decorative device used in first century churches, before the formal churches, like what we call homo ecclesia, like churches in the houses when the Christianity was still a kind of secret faith. So it was used in the earliest churches, and it was also used later on by Muslims. For example, if you go to Turkey, in the mosques of Istanbul mainly, but there are in other places like Izmir, Bursa, etc., you will see on the stained glasses of the windows, الزجاج الملون, stained glasses of the windows, the Star of David, plenty. Before even the Jews started to think about it. Now, in the Hebrew context, we are talking now to get to the Judaism. In the Hebrew context, the Star of David is actually referred to as the shield of David, a tirs. the shield of David, Magen David. A phrase first mentioned the shield of David, Magen David, in the Babylonian Talmud, not as a symbol, but as an epithet, a kunya, as an epithet for God. Another link to the shield concept is a Jewish legend, khurafi or kussa, a Jewish legend that goes back probably, that is according to which the emblem, the shi'ar, the emblem decorated the shield of King David. The story says that the emblem, the star, the 6-point star, was decorating the shields of the soldiers of King David, the army. What's more, a rabbi called Rabbi Akiva, chose the Star of David as the symbol of Bar Kokhba. Bar Kokhba, when they revolted against the Roman Emperor Hadrian. Bar Kokhba, son of star. So this is part of how it started. But the Star of David only became a distinctly Jewish symbol in the mid of the 14th century. More or less, the second half of the 14th century. When as it was called, the Holy Roman Emperor Charles IV granted the Jews of Prague the right to carry a flag, and they choose the 6-pointed star on the flag. From Prague, the use of the Star of David as an official Jewish symbol spread. That is the official beginning. And so began the movement to find Jewish sources. They started to invent stories how the Star of David, it is Jewish, but in real, it has nothing to do with Judaism. Anyway, there is a scholar, a scholar in the Kabbalah. His name was Gershon Sholem. He claimed that the Star of David does not originate, Bidyat, in any way in Judaism. It is not in Judaism. Though he noted, he noted the symbol was identified on a Jewish seal, khatem, on a Jewish seal from the 7th century BC, found in Sidon, Fisaida, as well as in the 3rd, 4th century AD, synagogue decorations, the star was found alongside other symbols. The star was with other symbols as decorative items, not religious items. So this is in general. I brought you some pictures of the Star of David with some inscriptions down. Here, for example, the 4 elements of life: water, earth, air, fire. You can see how the triangles are shaped. So this is one of the symbols for the alchemists. We have other symbols. For example, this is from Hinduism. It is still used. They still use it. By the way, some people are using the Star of David as an item, as an item to help with healing. Like for the Christians, the cross. They use the star as healing item. And there are others. Anyway, all these things will be sent to you. You will get it. And the information, you will get it from there. This is about the Star of David. A few things that we missed in Chorazin. I will take first of all about the seat of Moses. The seat of Moses. You have it on the screen. What is the importance of this seat or the chair of Moses? You can read on this screen. Jesus references this position of authority. That is in Matthew 23. Jesus was teaching, and among what he said, the teachers of the law, we call them scribes, the teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must obey them and do everything they tell you, but do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. In Arabic, to make it easy to understand, Matthew 23 يسوع بقول للجمع للتلاميذ الكتبة والفريسيون يجلسون في كرسي موسى. إذا متذكرين أنا ذكرت I mentioned the cathedra, the seat of the teacher. When a teacher wants to teach about the law, he must be seated in the seat of Moses, the cathedra. And he said, فعلا اسمعوا أقوالهم ولا تفعلوا أفعالهم لأنهم لا يفعلون ما يقولون. أي عن رجال الدين. هذا المعنى. Before the discovery of this seat in Chorazin, people were asking, what did Jesus mean about Moses' seat? Nobody knew. Until they discovered this seat, they were able to explain what did Jesus mean in what he said. So that is about the seat of Moses. There is the synagogue whose ruins are still visible, مرئية, today, was built in the 3rd century. That means it is not from the time of Jesus, and destroyed in the 4th century. Most probably was destroyed by an earthquake from 336 or 63. But it is in the 4th century and rebuilt in the 6th century. But for sure, the Chorazin that we take the people to visit is not the Chorazin of Jesus' time. This is for sure. The archaeologists can prove it. But usually we don't tell the tourists about it. Let them be happy. Oh, we visited Chorazin. So this synagogue is typical. You can see the arches. You can see the pillars. This is the style. This is the style of most of the synagogues in Galilee, the style of architecture. Well, I am not a big architecture like Steve is, but just for your information. Now, what is the meaning of Chorazin? This is a good information. The meaning of Chorazin is place of herald, مكان التبشير, or secret place of proclamations. Proclamations, تصريحات. This is literally. I mean, this is the meaning, original meaning of the place. Something interesting also, if you remember when you visited Chorazin, there is a big shell, basalt. In fact, everything is basalt stone there. There is a basalt shell. Maybe this shell would have been the top part, القسم العلوي, of the cabinet, الخزانة, where the Torah and the Old Testament scrolls would have been kept. That means there was a cabinet and it was decorated with a shell. Today, the Christians are using the symbol of the shell as a pilgrimage shell. We call it pilgrimage shell. People who come on pilgrimage to the Holy Land, Catholics, they go to the patriarch in Jerusalem, and they offer him donations, big donations, and he gives them shells to put it on the chest. That is the shell of pilgrimage. So this is also something good to know. Okay, now we go to Kursi. I will start like this. First, when we go inside Kursi, I tell the people the meaning of Kursi. In Greek, it is Kershi. I asked a Greek priest, the priest of Mount Tabor, Hilarion. He said Kershi. I don't know how he pronounced it, but it is not Kursi. For us, it is easier to say Kursi. It means lamp. Lamp means nutu'at, أو تكتلات. The meaning of the word Kursi. The Greeks pronounce it Kirsi, with ki, not ku, Kirsi. Anyway, stay with your Kursi, it is easier for you. The story of Kursi started around 1972. You know, after the Six-Day War, the Israelis wanted to construct to construct a road from the eastern side of the Sea of Galilee up to the Golan Heights. And a contractor, Mkawel, took the job and started to work with the bulldozers. One of the people who were interested to see what is going on, he noticed that one of the bulldozers was hitting a carved stone, Hajar Mahfur. And he asked the driver of the bulldozer, the technician, stop please. Why? Oh, there is something interesting here. This stone is different from all the stones in the area, so please stop. No, I don't want to stop. Okay, the man called the authority of antiquities. And they came and they asked the contractor to stop. They started to excavate the area and they started to discover that there is there something abnormal. They did not expect. They found a church. They found a monastery there, that its surface was about 16 dunam, 16,000 square meters, the original surface. And they found also, during the excavation, they found a large marble slab, لوحة, marble, رخام, which is expensive. They found it on the floor, broken, and they tried. Here is part of it. It is not in the site, by the way. Today, it is not in the site. They were able to explain few words. One of them is, by the way, the marble is imported from Greece. And the writing on that slab, lawha, is in Aramaic and Hebrew. And they identified few words, like, for example, Mar Maria. The explanation of that word, according to archaeologists, was Maria is Maria. Mar, this is Aramaic, like marhaba, that we use, marhaba. Mar is God's, haba, hub, love, marhaba, God is love. So, Mar Maria, maybe it is a God with Maria, or because of the name Marmar, Rukham. Then there are words like Amen, the Holy King, the Merciful, and few words that are missing a lot. They were distorted. They were not clear to understand it. It seems that this place, according to the findings, was around the year 500 AD, after Christ, Annum Domini, was a Jewish or Judeo-Christian population. Judeo-Christian population. So that is about the place. Now, about the name, Gerasenes, we have a few names here. For example, if we look at the map, there are 3 dots here. The upper one is Kursi, Gergasa. The second one, Gadara. The third one is Gerasa. All of them sound almost the same. One of the explanation of Gergasa from the Aramaic or Hebrew, Grushim, because those people were not Jews, and they were Gentiles. Gentiles, that means not Jew. All of us are Gentiles. And also, they did not follow the rules of Judaism by farming pigs. They were farming pigs. Now, the problem of the location of the place, that the Bible says they went far. And far, for us, for example, wait, I will be there in 2 minutes. And 2 minutes sometimes is an hour and a half. You understand me? So far, since Jesus came from Capernaum up in the north to Kursi that we have here on the map, it is like maximum half an hour if we say with a small boat, but it is not big deal. But some people say, no, it was furthermore to the south, where we have Gadara. Gadara is a city with a wall, Gader, a city with a wall, where we have Qais. And in Qais, if anybody visited already there are a lot of archaeology.
Mhm.
And the furthest one is Jarash, Gerasa, which was the biggest one. That is the area more or less of Decapolis. If you remember, when you go to the site, up on the right hill, there is a cave. There is a cave. You have the picture?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll show it.
There is a cave, and the cave is here. Yeah. And they believe that this is where it happened. So early Christians, the pilgrims, used to come to this cave, one of these two caves, anyway, because they thought this is where the miracle happened. In English, we call it the miracle of the swine, S-W-I-N-E, swine. Swine can be plural and can be singular, like fish, samaki, and samak. So they don't say the miracle of the pigs, because pigs, the word pigs in Judaism is not acceptable. You remember they call it basar lavan. They don't say, also in English, they call it pork.
Pork.
They don't say pig. But why did the pigs went directly to the water? It seems, according to some scholars, that these pigs were wild pigs, not domestic, or at least half of them were wild pigs with long front legs that helped them to swim. And they used to go to swim. They used to go to swim. So when Jesus ordered the demons, there were 2,000 pigs. When Jesus ordered the demons to get out of the man or the two men, depends which Bible you are reading, I mean, which gospel you are reading. One is one person, another one, two persons. Anyway, the pigs wanted to run away, and they directly went to the sea to run away, to swim. And that is an explanation. That is in the area of the site of Corse, the site of the church and the pillars and the baptismal font, etc. But after I visit, or sometimes I don't visit there because it is already closed in the afternoon, I go to another site called Nuqib. I don't know if you go there, but it is interesting. I don't know if it is the place, but it is very convincing for the pilgrims, if you know how to tell them the story. You stand there at Nuqib. There is, you see these, this is where a fight took place between the Syrian and the Israelis. There were killed soldiers from both sides. Anyway, I stand there facing west, and I tell the people, look, from wherever you go to the water, you go flat to the water. You don't jump, you go flat. The only place where there is a cliff and you jump is this. So most probably, to make the story more convincing, the man possessed, المسكون, possessed by the demons was in Kursi at the site we visited. And the pigs ran away looking for a place to, or a shelter, a refuge place to hide. They jumped here in the water. Probably the water was much higher. And people are happy because, oh, this is the place, and this is this, this is that. People are happy with that site more than the other site. By the way, under the church, there is the cemetery. Under the church in Kursi, there is a cemetery, closed one. It is closed with a barrier. I was with a group from Hong Kong, and the tour leader, who was a pastor, he was crazy. He was crazy that once he asked me if I want to join the group. I said, but I am the tour guide. What do you mean? No, he said, we are going to walk a little bit. Remember? Not far, a little bit. I said, okay, no problem. We came from Jerusalem down through Wadi Quilt. By the way, Wadi Quilt, Wadi is valley, Quilt is Arabic word, Qaf, Lam, Ta. And the meaning is the son of the jinni, أولاد الجن, because they believe that the jinni in English, used to deliver the babies in that valley, Wadi al-Kult. It is full with jinnis. So we walked all the way through Wadi al-Kult. First day we arrived to Jericho. We slept there outside, close to the road. In 1982, were 11 people, and we continued all the way to Capernaum, walking. It took us 11 days. Each one was carrying 20 to 25 kilo. This pastor somehow succeeded to open the barrier, the cover that blocked the entrance to the under the tunnel or cemetery under the church in Kursi. And he came out very excited. Oh, this is the cemetery. This is the place. I said, okay, this is the place. They were happy. So he took some picture, and I don't know what he did with the picture, but every time he came, he used to take like 4,000 or 5,000 pictures in 11, 12 days. So that is in general Kursi. Yeah, we'll go to Magdala now.
The last station.
The last station. We still have
the last
15
site?
minutes or what?
20 minutes.
20
20,
minutes.
even 25 if you want.
Okay, I will try to make it short as much as possible, short. But I will concentrate mainly on the stone of Magdala. So when we come to Magdala, I directly go to the synagogue. I go to the synagogue. A general information. Magdala was a major first century port harbor on the Sea of Galilee. I'm talking to the tourists. They sit there at the auditorium, if you call it auditorium. I tell them Magdala was a major first century port on the Sea of Galilee. A center, this is important, a center of trade and commerce, tijara, and an exporter, تصدير, an exporter of salted fish to markets as far away as Europe. We have written records that the salted fish of Magdala arrived to Europe. Archaeological discoveries early in the 21st century have made it a, let's call it, very developed pilgrimage destination. وجهة مهمة مزدهرة. The fame of Magdala came from one woman. That woman is Mary Magdalene, and she got her name from Magdala because they believe she was born there. Something important about Mary Magdalene, this is general information. I usually don't discuss it with the pilgrims, but I give them the information. In the 6th century, a pope decided that Mary Magdalene and Mary who poured perfume on the head of Jesus and Mary who washed the feet of Jesus with perfume are one Mary. That means Mary Magdalene and the sister of Lazarus are one person. Later on, the church was hesitating about why he mentioned that. And they said, no, those were 3 different women. Anyway, it seems Mary Magdalene was very wealthy, غنية, very rich. It seems she was born, but she had a lot of business, and she was possessed by demons. I was watching about a year ago a movie, a series, not a movie, called The Chosen. The Chosen. And they tell another story of Mary Magdalene. If you have Netflix and you search The Chosen, you can watch 1, 2, 3 episodes. It gives you some idea how they develop the story to something Hollywood story. Once Mary was called also because she was very much venerated or respected, if you want. She was called the disciple of the disciples, the disciple of the disciples. And according to the apostle of the apostles, not the disciple, the apostle of the apostles, Rasulat al-Rusul, as the most important one in them. And she was possessed by 7 demons. And in the story also, how did she meet Jesus? She knew she cannot approach Jesus. He is a holy person, if you want. And she cannot come as a woman, unclean woman, because they used to call her the woman with the issue of blood. She was bleeding. She was afraid to approach Jesus, and she decided to come from the back when he was surrounded by crowds and to touch his cloak, عباءة. And she was healed. Okay. Yeah, in the church there underground, you can see Mary, the finger of Mary, trying to touch the cloak of Jesus. A very, very beautiful painting. I don't know, I don't remember if it is painting of a mosaic.
No, it's painting
It is
underground. Yeah.
painting, yeah. Okay. Let's go to the stone. The stone was found in the middle of a synagogue. This was discovered by accident in 2009. And there was a group who were running under the authority of the Vatican, the Notre Dame in Jerusalem. And one of their leaders, they were called the Légion. The Légion. What happened? The Légion is a Catholic congregation, مجموعة كاثوليكية, that manages Notre Dame in Notre Dame Center in Jerusalem. During the excavations, they found this stone, and because of this stone, they decided to excavate the whole place. And since this is an important place for Jews and Christians, the authority of antiquities wanted to take part in the excavations because it was very important for them. So the discovery of the stone was the most exciting discovery at Magdala so far. However, is the Magdala stone, we call it the Magdala stone, which has produced a lot of excitement. You know, when the archaeologists find a piece of glass, a coin, a whatever, oh, they, as if they discovered America. The discovery of that stone brought a lot of archaeologists even to volunteer or even to pay in order to excavate, to participate in the excavation. So the synagogue, as I mentioned, was uncovered in 2009. And the discovery, the excavation gave better clues, better ideas about some of the obscure غامض, obscure history of the place. Some of the scholars believe that the stone was carved before the Romans destroyed the Second Temple. The stone was carved before the destruction of the temple in the year 70 AD. 2017, this is something also nice to know. 2017, like I usually say, the stone was displayed in Rome in Menorah, Worship, History, Legend, and Exhibition, sponsored by the Vatican and the Jewish Museum of Rome. Now we'll go to the stone itself. About the menorah, we see the menorah. So this is the front of the stone. The front of the stone depicts the oldest carved image of the Second Temple's 7-branched menorah ever found. This makes it very unique. This is the oldest carved menorah ever found in the world. And the long sides of the stone depict a building with pillared archways. The long sides, we have buildings with the arches, al-aqwas, like a path, mamar, with arches. The rest of the stone is covered in decorative symbols relating to the structure of the temple and ceremonial ihtifali, Jewish objects. Magdala stone is a stone block carved with symbols of the temple in Jerusalem, with the core of the temple, core is al-jawhar, with the core of the temple represented the hall, al-qa'a, the sanctuary, al-ma'bad, and the holy of the holies, Quds al-Aqdas. The dimensions, 1.8 by 2 feet, 1.8 foot by 2 feet the length, with a height of 1 foot, with a height of 1 foot. So it has a cubic shape, 3 dimensions. It was found almost in the center of the synagogue. It is believed to be a piece of ceremonial furniture. Listen, it is a piece of ceremonial ihtifali, furniture, piece of furniture in the synagogue. And some of the scholars, if not most of them, they believe that on this furniture, the Torah and other sacred scrolls were placed. They used to put the Torah and the scrolls on this stone. But a question, is it simply a bima? Bima, well, what is bima in English? Let's call it a traditional holder for the scrolls. Or does it have some deeper significance? So all this information, you will get it written. All this information, you will get it written. Also, they found a mikveh. They found a mikveh. And most probably, the only mikveh that is filled with water, not rainwater, it is aquifer. Aquifer, what is aquifer? Aquifer, underground water that comes from down, not from the rain, from up. So this is also interesting to know. There is a mikveh. And when you see a mikveh, that means this place is Jewish. This place is Jewish. And there are questions like, can this be considered a form of prayer within a first century synagogue? Or would this be a Christian interpretation imposed upon a Jewish object? That means they want to put Christianity over there. And those are questions. One of the informations that surprised me, that when the Legion asked permission to excavate, and they were almost halfway in the excavations. The authority of antiquities told them, we'll agree. Some of our archaeologists will come to help you because we have some specialists in mikvahs, specialists in synagogues. But our condition, you don't charge for entrance fees. In the beginning, if you still remember, we used to go there without paying. Now, for the maintenance of the place, for this business, they charge. And even they constructed a hotel over there. There is the church itself. The church itself is beautiful, unique church. What I do before I explain anything about the church, I go to the center of the outside hall where the fountain. Here, you see this? I ask the people to stand in this circular area here. Don't cross, I tell them, don't cross the line. And if I know somebody who sings, who has a beautiful voice, I ask that person, usually girls have beautiful voices, and many times in my groups, I had singers, famous singers, not singers. I ask them to stand at the line, and there they start singing any song they want, usually religious song, like Pater Noster, Ave Maria, or whatever, Christmas song if you want. I ask the people not to sing with the person. And I ask the person to walk small steps toward the fountain without changing their voice level. So they will notice that more you go toward the fountain, more you approach the fountain, the voice will have better echo. This is one of the genius architecture of the place. Very, very beautiful, amazing. And then I explain about the churches, the chapels around. There are chapels, and each chapel with the story of a woman. There are the pillars with the names of women's in the Bible, except one without a name. You can give an explanation that maybe they will find a new saint, a new woman who is holy woman, and they will add it. This is the incognito. Incognito, that means the unknown woman yet. Then I go to the church. I explain about the altar. The altar is made with cedar wood, brought specially from Lebanon to construct this altar. And it is in the shape of a boat, the boat of Jesus. If it is there is no mass and the group has time, usually I suggest, if they want to pray, for example, a decade of the rosary, قسم من المسبحة for the Catholics. If not, you can take pictures and go downstairs to use first the toilets. They are clean and free of charge. And also to go to see the old pavement, the floor of the chapel where the picture of Mary and touching the cloak of Jesus. So in general, yeah, those are the mosaic, the chapels. Here, because in the main church, they don't allow non-Catholic to have a service. So if you have a non-Catholic, a Protestant group, you can take them inside and they can have a service or a prayer, whatever. Yeah, that is in general about Magdala. We are on time, right?
Yeah, we're just in time.
Yeah. Any questions, please?
Okay, everybody, before we open it, put on your mic, I would like to give the opportunity to Jamil to say something, but before that, I would like really to thank Mr. Khalil again. It is the last meeting for us for this year. Before that, the rest will leave or somebody will leave. So it is the last meeting for us this year. We will be in contact with all of you. When will be the other meeting next year? Mr. Khalil will leave us overseas vacation for the Christmas. So by this time, I would like to tell everybody Merry Christmas and really 2024 Happy New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody,
Yeah.
and Happy New Year. Hope that you will have peace of mind, health, joy, happiness, and for you and your families.
It was really my honor to be with you. It was very, very good. I learned from it a lot. I hope that all of you as well. So now you could turn on your mic and let's see the pictures for your faces too. Before that, we began with the questions. So Jamil would like to tell us something. Jamil, please.
سامعني
نعم.
شوي مرشح.
مش
بدي اشكر كثير الاستاذ ابو بشاره، الاستاذ خليل هاروني. فعلا مش بس اللي فايتين جديد على على الارشاد، المرشدين الجداد، كمان انا تعلمت منك وانا بتخيل الجميع يتعلموا منك. بدي اشكرك كثير استاذ ابو بشاره، عن جد استفدنا منك كثير. يعني انا عم بسجل هون، اذا بتشوف عم بسجل كثير اشياء من اللي من اللي انت حكيتها، فجدا استفدنا. بدي اشكرك كثير. شكرا لك وكل عام وانت بخير.
وانت بألف خير إن شاء الله.
جميل.
إيه،
بتحب تحكي شيء ثاني بالنسبة للمنتدى للبرنامج؟
بس كلمة صغيرة.
تفضل.
كلمة صغيرة بدي بس أذكر الجميع. بدي في هون عندنا، كيف حكينا مرة عن المؤتمر الثاني للمنتدى. احنا عملنا مؤتمر للمنتدى حوالي قبل شيء 4 سنين، كان المؤتمر الأول. هسه احنا بدنا نعمل كمان مؤتمر لمنتدى المرشدين العرب، اللي التاريخ راح يكون، سجلوا عندكم يا جماعة، في 26/2 راح يكون المؤتمر. وبدنا إياكم تساعدونا منشان نساعد بعض، منشان هذا المؤتمر ينجح. لإنجاح المؤتمر 26/2 سجلوا عندكم. ايش راح يكون في المؤتمر؟ طبعا راح يكون بدي اياكم اول شيء الكل يدعي اللي حواليه، اوكي، من المرشدين. في مرشدين اللي هن مش معنا على الجروب تبع المنتدى، فبطلب من الجميع كل واحد يدعي. احنا رايحين نعمل دعوه منظمه مع تاريخ، مع كل الاشياء اللي بدنا نعملها. دعوه خلينا نسميها رسميه. راح يكون باختصار، يعني باختصار شديد، بديش اطول عليكم. راح يكون في محاضرون، ضيوف راح يكون عندنا، مواد مهنيه فريده ومفيده، مفاجآت كثيره.